Recent album with Emmylou Harris. Mark Knopfler and Emmylou Harris and Beachcombing from their recent album called All the Road Running. And Mark Knopfler is here. We're kind of taking the mick that you'd forgotten all about it, really.
Oh, well,
had you?
Maybe I was just dealing with some Sunday drivers, but it's very nice to be back and see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you. What have we kept you from? I mean, what are you normally doing on a Sunday afternoon?
I'm usually watching motorbike racing.
Which you were today, perhaps?
Yeah, a little earlier on there, yeah. Or just something like that, or writing a song, or whatever, playing with the kids.
I hear Valentino is holding up a card saying, Colin, we're going to miss you.
Yeah.
What a sad... It's been such a bad week for motor racing, but what a way to end it.
That's right, yeah. It's a tough one.
Yeah. How did the doctor get on in the race?
He won it.
He won it? Oh, excellent.
Yeah, about time.
So you did a few shows with Emmylou, didn't you, last year? Was it?
Yes, we were actually having such a good time that we thought we'd, when we did the record, we thought we'd have a little tour, and we did Wembley and Manchester and Dublin, and we played in Europe and we played in America. And but just a joy, the whole thing.
She's a wonderful woman.
She's a great woman, yeah. She really is a great person, Emmy.
So have you known her for a long time?
Yes, I've known her for a long time. I'm good friends with an ex of hers and a good friend of hers, and so yeah, we just kind of knew each other, and we sort of come from the same place, really, musically. So there's a lot that we had in common, and then we found out that when we sang together, it worked. It was just a good thing to do.
Yeah. And do you still spend a lot of time in Nashville?
No. I've got my own studio, and I used to record a lot in London in Air Studios in Oxford, when they were back in Oxford Circus, and also when they were up in Hampstead. And then I eventually bit the bullet and got on with it and built my own place, which of course is about 20 years too late, which is about typical for me. But it's really great fun being in there, and I actually did this new record there.
And is it are you using old stuff? Have you got analog stuff in there?
Oh yeah, I've got analog right out the back door. And it's there's all sorts of things. In fact, there's been a bunch of young bands in there, kids doing Beatles record with Jeff Emerick, who's the old Beatles engineer, because I've got an old EMI desk from that era, from the 60s, and using all the old tape machines that they used to use, tape flying around all over the place. So you can make a wonderful analog record in there, but you could also make you can make a film score, you get an orchestra, you do all sorts of things in there, you work with modern stuff as well. So I like to think it's got the best of the old and the best of the new in the place.
Yeah, I went round to Abbey Road a couple of years ago, and they showed me an old analog desk. Maybe it's the one that you've now got, because when digital came in, they just thought it was worth 50 quid. It was just junk.
I remember in Germany they chucked out a lot of old mics as well. These old, wonderful old Neumann microphones that they must have just decided to modernize at some point, and they chucked them all in a skip, I think. And these mics are now, of course, they're worth a lot of money. It's great having a collection of good mics as well. That's part of the fun of it.
Yeah. So it's a very relaxed feel from the album. I mean, for Sunday afternoon, if you've been doing a bit of gardening, I think to come in and put on your new album with a bit of a G&T, it's just the perfect end to a day.
Just really. A bit of a G&T.
A bit of a G&T.
Medium G&T.
Yes. Or a large one.
Well, thank you. No, I mean, it wasn't really done with that in mind, but I mean, it's not nostalgic, even though it's of an era, I suppose. It's got a lot of the sounds in it that my memory tells me were the sounds. They're probably not the sounds, but the sounds that turned me on as a kid as well. It's got folk influences, it's got the twang that initially made me want to play, all sorts of things. But yeah, not something that hopefully on it that make you want to jump up and have to take it off and change it and move it along. It's just something that I like to be able to put on, as you say, and leave it on.
Who played the twang that made you originally want to play?
Oh, well, it was Dwayne, Eddie and Hank, and there was a little lad up the street where I lived in Newcastle, and he had a copy of Because They're Young. Do you remember that?
I do. It's
and
quite connected with that song.
Yeah, well, of course, because the radio was that's right, and of course. But when I first heard it, it knocked me out, and I made that poor kid play it, about 70 times in a row, because I was slightly obsessed, which is, I suppose, the way that you've got to be. I mean, I'd like to think I wasn't psychotic, but I was slightly obsessed with it all.
Yeah. Well, as you said, that's what you need. Just keep practicing,
Yeah, I think I must have slept with my guitar on the first date when I got a new one.
Yeah.
It had to be a red one. But I think there's nothing wrong with a kid wanting to wait for something.
Not at all. It makes it all the more special when you finally get it.
Right.
I mean, I saw the EPK of the making of this album. There's a lot of tremolo bar action going on there.
Yeah,
also,
well, that's the way you say. Yeah, I mean, that's one way of playing them. Yeah, you use a pick and you use the tremolo arm. Yeah.
And there's a very fancy guitar with a row of coloured buttons on the top.
Yeah, there were the radiogram buttons on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an old Japanese thing. Yeah, I've got a few of those from the. I've got a bunch of cheap, weird and wonderful. Weird and wacky guitars as well as proper ones.
Yeah. Well, you got a proper one with you today, I guess.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a Martin. It's a signature one. It's always a thrill for a guitarist to get a signature guitar. And they've really tried hard with this one. I call it the Ragpicker here after one of my records.
Okay, well, let's have a taste of the new album, new song.
Well, I'll try one without the band, if that's okay, just with this thing here.
Okay.
Well, as pop goes the weasel, let go of the easel. You don't want this rickety life. Seat of the trousers, it's all sink or swim, son. Kill to get crimson on this pallet night. Not steal in a minute, I'm up to hearing it. You here behaving as though I'm a saint. Get a job with a pension, don't ever mention you once had a craving for the brushes and paint. So go, forget it, let it all go, let it all go. Go for it, let it all go. Go forget it, let it all go, let it all go. Go for it, let it all, let it all go. Judges, my swipes and my smudges. Doesn't like pictures with blotches and blood. The drawing room tea set wants horses, sunsets, sweet nothings, the seaside with yours. It's the end of the 30s, no time for arties. Over in Poland, the right old to do. So go join the Air Force, Navy, the Army. They'll all be enrolling young fellas like me. So go, forget it, let it all go, let it all go. Go for it, let it all go. Go for it, let it all go, let it all go. Go for it, let it all, let it all go. Expressions, the clamoring voice. It's volcanic desire, the unquenchable fire. It isn't a question of having a choice. Anyway, now I'm old, but if you won't be told, you've been created to